The document that you received in front of you was probably a fairly good representation of the intellect and experience of the person who's written it. We don't live in that world now. The CVs that you get, a huge majority of them now have had some influence from AI, whether it be, I'm not going to mention a brand name, but some sort of writing tool, or whether it's a ChatGPT or wherever it might be. So the document used to be a fairly accurate, nice representation of who you would ultimately speak to. Now I receive CVs and I speak to people, they bear no resemblance to each other, and it's clearly been written by AI. CV plagiarism as a result of that is also quite rife at the moment. So again, it's about some veracity when you're screening. Ironically, one of the major ways of assessing people historically would be talking through people's experience and talking about the individual tasks. And that might well still be the case, but they've been written and they've been rehearsed as well. And invariably, Fran can attest to this because I've interviewed Fran and she knows lots of people I've recruited for her teams, is that quite often I don't want to talk too much about that because I know you've rehearsed it. I want to put you off balance. I want to talk to you about different things. I want to challenge your knowledge. I also want to set a narrative about what we're seeking to do. I want to tell you what our expectations are, the culture that we seek to create, and make it quite clear that if you don't meet those expectations because what I have in front of me isn't really accurate, you're not going to last long.
Yeah.
I think the intrinsic qualities of an individual person now are as important as what is on the paper, because the paper does not have the gravitas it used to have. All of these things, a high level of scrutiny and vetting, open, candid conversations at entry point. What you're striving to do there is make sure that you minimize any risk, as I've mentioned, get the best people that you can. Some of that's quite organic in terms of the energy you get off people. There's the resonance. Do you instantly build rapport? Have they got passion about the subject? Passion about the subject matter is really important. And if you can do all of those things and onboard them properly and they get caught by the right kind of training, you're going to get high performers.
Yep.
You're going to get high performers and you're also going to get low attrition. And I think attrition, particularly when we're in the consultancy and contractor space, is something that everyone strives for. We've had this experience on a project, and we were, client asked us, how is your attrition so long? And that's because our entry point was so high.
Yeah.
And we were so rigorous with what we did. We didn't just put names on a list and dispatch the resource and think about it later. But there's a perceptual thing with a client when you have low attrition. How are you doing that? So it's multifaceted, and as you know, I absolutely love what I do. And those conversations and testing people is it's really interesting because you get to call people out as well.